Hey, what is up guys? So I'm here to showcase off the new Metaphys deck in action. A lot of people playing the whole Pendulum deck right now when you have 3 Skullcrab Joker, pretty strong, but not as overpowered as the new Metaphys. And the new Metaphys, they have some crazy tricks up their sleeve. So we're going to check out the deck in action. Maglucious has got some pretty fire plays from this new archetype. But anyways, this other guy is going to go off for like 30 seconds here. He's just going to completely like make it a disgusting field. You thought he was playing like some synchro deck, like his turn took like 50 different moves. But anyways, he's going to go ahead and reduce this card's attack by half. And the Metaphys archetype is all about the whole Banish zone. Hopefully Macrocosmos Defish will go multiple next format. But anyways, we got that new ban list, so again, people are on the Pendulum hype train right now. He's able to get rid of his entire back row, but just watch what happens with this, because you guys are thinking, there's no way. How is he, what is he going to do, drop Honest, survive one turn? How is he going to move with the Gamma? So just watch what happens. He goes ahead and drops the Honest on his opponent, and he's going to go ahead and special summon Daedalus, and that's going to get rid of his opponent's entire field. It banishes all other face-up special summon monsters on the field. How good is that? Doesn't destroy them, it just banishes them all. That is a really strong effect. Unless the other guy is playing Metaphys, usually that completely destroys someone, and now he has complete control over the game. And on top of that, you can go for some rank 7 plays. And on top of that, this deck doesn't seem to need Link Summons at all, so if you guys are not fans of Link Summons, this could definitely be a deck that you guys could be looking forward to playing once it actually comes out. But it is very strong, and on top of that, you have big plays with Necroface, because you're going to be able to banish a bunch of cards and then reset them potentially later on with Necroface. Plus, we have multiple copies of Allure of Darkness. As of right now, most of them are light in the archetype. But if we get any dark ones, you know, people will be playing Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness really good with Necroface, in addition to Gold Sarcophagus, now that it is at 3. But Gold Sarcophagus, Necroface, I believe it's still at 2 in the TCG. But next up, we got it versus the Dark Magicians. I know Dark Magicians is not the most meta, but at the same time, this deck really can utilize off of the whole Banish mechanic. I know the Dark Magician archetype is all about being able to get rid of a card. You can just banish a card on the field. But again, the Metaphys, they want you to banish their stuff because all of them have bonus effects. Some of them search out. We'll go over them more in depth when we go over the deck profile that I have. I've actually got 2 different builds. Pretty much they are similar in a sense because like you're going to be playing some of the support. But anyways, they have a few cards that are pretty decent. The Ethereal, or the Waterfall of Dragon Souls, lets you just add a worm type monster. So you get triple copy of Rhoda in the deck. Or I guess, well, it's for Wyrms. But at the same time, you guys saw it, he just got rid of his opponent's entire back row. So like they have access to getting rid of the entire back row. You just banish all the set spell and trap cards, and then the Daedalus banishes all of the special summon monsters. So that is pretty strong. Most monsters in the game that we would consider strong are going to be special summon. And then we have the little baby guy, the Ragnarok, which basically sets you up. So when he's normal or special, you get to banish 3 cards from the top of your deck, and it gains 300 attack for each Metaphys card that is banished. So potentially you can get this card up a boost of 900 extra attack. So it's not too bad. Which will put him up to 24. But next up, we got it versus another Pendulum deck. This is pretty hot right now. I've seen so many people just try out the new stuff with the whole Skullcrab Joker at 3. It's nasty to run into, definitely. A very consistent deck because this is a really good card. It got hit really fast, and then Konami took a 180 again to support the new Pendulum stuff that is coming out really soon. You know, might as well play it now before the Link Summons come out because that's going to destroy Pendulums quite hard. But anyways, he's only got... oh, also, I forgot to mention this. So you know how you're able to destroy all of their... or not destroy, banish all of their monsters and all of their spell and traps. The field spell for the deck, the Metaphys Factor, lets you actually summon a 5 or higher without... you can normal summon it without tributing. So that's actually really good already. But in addition to that... it gets banished, so that, again, that's going to actually help you later on because they all have little effects when they get banished. But your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your Metaphys monster effects. So your opponent can't respond. You have other cards that search out. You have ones that allow you to actually special summon it during your opponent's turn, which is really dirty. And oh, also going back to the baby guy, whenever he inflicts battle damage, you guys will see he's able to just go ahead and just special summon a 5 or higher Metaphys monster from your deck. It gets banished during the end phase, but again, most of the cards in the deck you want them to be banished. Because you're going to be getting effects via special summoning them or just by putting them back into the deck. And the Metaphys over here, if it's special summoned by the effect of a Metaphys monster, you're going to banish all of the set spell trap cards, which we actually already saw. But if it was banished the last turn, you can shuffle it into the deck to add one Metaphys card. So that can be a monster or the other support, spell and traps, but you cannot go for metaphysical regeneration. So that's another one of the cards. But in addition to that, I kind of want to go over some of the cards right now since we're okay. The replay is already over. But anyways, when you're opponent with special summon monster, you can target one of your banished Metaphys monsters and special summon it. So that's already really good. It banishes during the end phase, but still, it's pretty good. But even if this card leaves the field, you still get the effect. Then, if another Metaphys card you control is banished while this card is face up on the field, except for itself, you can target one card your opponent controls and just banish it. So this deck is all about just banishing. You can only use each effect about once per turn. But we got one more over here versus the new Time Lords. The new Time Lords is a really annoying deck to run into. Man, I ran into it the other day, and it stalls for days. You guys remember from the live stream that we did. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitch, I do stream Yu-Gi-Oh! I do a lot of other games on Twitch, but I do stream Yu-Gi-Oh! Once in a while. Dude, like, this deck was, oh my gosh, it was painful to play against the the Time Lords. These guys, they just stall. Like, no one likes playing against this deck. Let's put it that way. But anyways, this gave the deck a run for its money over here, because basically how the Time Lords work is you summon them, and then they cannot be destroyed by battle by card effects, and they don't take any battle damage. And basically they can stall out until they get like certain cards, for example like the Cephalon, and you can just like kind of game your opponent because you're going to be bouncing everything back consistently. Every single turn you either bounce back their graveyard, you bounce back their field, you bounce back either the monsters or the spells. Some of them do some small little burn damage, so eventually you will get in some damage. But anyways, like I said, this little guy over here, when he gets to attack, you're able to just special summon a Metaphys that's 5 or higher from your deck. Really good stuff. But unfortunately, you're not going to be doing any battle damage to the Time Lords, because that's just kind of the way the deck works. Now he's going to go for Necroface. He attacks, and then Alistar is trying to boost up the Merkaba over here, but he has the Solemn Strike to stop that. If that didn't go through, that would have been really bad for him. But anyways, he's going to go ahead and make another Merkaba over here, and then he's going to reset his Alistar, and then he's going to go ahead and activate Celestial Transformation, special summoning Elazion, and he's going to go ahead and activate that effect. And he's going to go ahead and reset his graveyard. Now, this deck doesn't really need the graveyard. It just needs to banish the cards. That's kind of key in here. I mean, I guess it kind of slows his deck down if he's already using some of the cards. But anyways, I feel like this card's pretty good. Again, it has another effect, though. You get to send any number of Worm-type monsters from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard, and then you could draw cards equal to the number of monsters sent to the graveyard. So I feel like if you're maybe you make like a big field with them, right? You get the Ragnarok, and you're able to special summon a card, and your opponent activates Dark Hole. You can get some cards before your opponent would activate a card that would completely wreck your field. So there is a little bit of play with the deck, but it's relatively straightforward. Try to get some damage in with Ragnarok. If you can activate Honest on it, then you could just drop the card, like you guys saw in the versus the Pendulum guy, and he just lost his entire field. But yeah, that is the whole Metaphys archetype. I'm going to go ahead and go over some deck profiles. There's actually 2 deck profiles. One of them, I don't have any plays from them because they aired out because the cards got updated. But there's 2 different builds. So this first one over here, it was from Teriyaki, and I really like both of them are kind of similar. I'm gonna go over them. Oops, let's go over the kind of both of them so you can see like most of the cards are pretty much the same. But one card that go to this one. One card that I thought was a good addition that we didn't get to see. Again, I apologize because the videos aired out. But anyways, Different Dimension Reincarnation could be an okay card in the deck as well, just because you're able to target any of them. Now, the only unfortunate side with this is because the Daedalus needs to be special summoned by the effect of a Metaphys monster. It doesn't work with a Metaphys card. If it did, this card would be super OP. But again, going back to this other build, what was this? Oh, this was one of the Spy Gal Misty cards. But using Honest, I think, could be really good with this because it allows you to get back the more so surviving the. Where is that card? This mini guy, the Ragnarok, being able to inflict the damage to your opponent. Then you can just go straight into this. It's really, really strong. But that was a combo that I really liked in the other build that we saw during the replays. But I think Ghost Ash is just so popular right now. But other than that, the builds are pretty similar. But anyways, going off with the build that you guys saw during the replays. So I guess I'll give you a brief introduction to like kind of what the cards kind of do. I know we kind of went over them during the plays, but we'll mouse over the cards and you guys can see like how many copies he's playing. But anyways, so the Tyrant Dragon has the effect where if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Metaphys monster, it is unaffected by trap effects. Also, if it attacks a monster, it can make a second attack. So this guy can actually attack twice, but once per turn during the standby phase, if this card was banished, the last turn you can shuffle this banished card back into the deck and then special summon a Metaphys monster from your hand, but you banish it during the end phase. So that's a good little effect. Let's see, it says during the standby phase, so that's pretty good. Also the Metaphys over here, this is the one that banishes all the set spell and traps, and then if it was banished, you get to shuffle this card back into the deck and then add a Metaphys card from your deck to your hand. And then we have Gamma Seal. This is just one card, just one kaiju there. You never know when you need to get rid of, you know, a boss monster. And then we have 3 copies of the Daedalus. This is the guy, when you special summon it, your opponent quits the game usually. I think this card makes a deck. Without this, no one would really consider the Metaphys archetype to be very viable in the game. But as you guys can see, it's very strong. But then in addition to that, if this card was banished the last turn, you can shuffle it back into your deck and then banish one Metaphys card from your deck. So this lets you just set up for whatever you need to go for, whether you need to go for this card to special summon or go for this to add. So that's a really, really good effect. Next up though, Ragnarok, we pretty much went over its effect multiple times, but yeah, you get to boost him up to potentially 24 attack, and then on top of that, you're able to special summon off over higher if it inflicts battle damage, but then it gets banished, but it's irrelevant really. You're going to get some bonus effect later on. But we got 2 Necroface. Gold Sark Necroface, pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, if the archetype gets any other cards that are like dark, then I could see maybe people trying Allure of Darkness. But for now, they're all light, so that works really well with Honest. And like I said, Honest plus this card is just, it's so dirty on your opponent's turn. Next up, we see the Regeki, triple copies of the Terraforming. This just helps out with consistency, because I'm guessing that, like, this is the only card that you really have in the deck as of right now. Keep in mind, they might get some more support later on that you can just, like, easily just summon. So Terraforming helps out with getting the field spell, which we'll go over once we have that. 3 gold star, it's just Necroface really, but you can go for your other cards and you can utilize them, but you're not going to really get like a huge advantage. It's just kind of neutralizing. You get way more advantage off of Necroface. Then we have 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, so it lets you target a spell trap and banish it. There's really no synergy with the deck other than this deck just likes to banish everything. And then we have the Defissures. It can hurt some other decks. I know once Lightsworn gets the new Minerva reprint, a lot of people will probably be inclined to play Lightsworn, so it'll be really good against Lightsworn. And this whole deck is really good. Banishing all special summon things is really dirty. Next up, we got the Field Spell. So I already mentioned it. So level 5 or higher Metaphys, you can normal summon it without tributing, but then it gets banished. Then your opponent can't activate response, anything in response to your Metaphys monsters, which that's really dirty, especially when, again, you're going to be banishing their entire monsters, all of them that are on board. Really good stuff that are special summoned. But next up, we got 3 copies of like this card that searches out whatever card you need in the deck as far as the monsters go. And then it has the other bonus effect. Again, I think it's most effective if your opponent activates Dark Hole. It's a decent little extra effect. Then we got the Macrocosmos triple Metaphys Dimension. So this card we saw a few times during the plays, but opponent would special summon a monster. You get to target one of your banished Metaphys monsters and just special summon it. And then it gets banished during the end phase, but again, it's kind of irrelevant. And then if a Metaphys card you control is banished while it's face up on the field, you can target one card your opponent controls, and banish it. So the whole deck, again, it just revolves around banishing. The only thing that I think this deck will have a problem with is Imperial Iron Wall would completely destroy this deck. And I know that Paleozoics, at one point they were main decking it, some people were siding it. It's still a decent little card. But I feel like this deck, it would lose to that really, really hard. But, you know, that's just, you know, how some decks are. Then we got Triple Solemn Brigade. As far as the extra deck, I think the best card is probably the Red Eyes, Flare Metal Dragon. As far as tuners go, I believe none of them are tuners, so I'm guessing, I'm not sure, maybe he was trying out other things before in an earlier build, but I think for the most part, you don't synchro in this deck at all. But we'll mouse over them, but as far as the side deck, I think he was trying out the Kaijus originally for the deck. But yeah, and then the other build, I mean, we can mouse over the cards. This one I think was an early build. I'm not sure if some of the cards got deleted in the extra deck, because like I said, the replays didn't work for this build. They kind of just errored out halfway through the plays. But thanks, Maglucious and Teriyaki, for sending in the deck profiles as well as those plays. Pretty unique stuff, and again, I thought that was crazy. Like, being able to banish everything that your opponent has after you already deal damage with them from Honest, and then on top of that, your opponent cannot respond to that if you have the factor on board. Pretty good stuff. But let me know, guys, what you think of the deck. Do you guys think it's a little bit OP? I think it's pretty good, but I think we need more cards to really make it much more viable, because as of right now, if you get rid of this card, they only really got one, like, summon in the deck for the most part. But that's all they need. Sometimes, again, if you have the Honest, it's pretty dirty. I was even thinking about, there's a card, oh, hold on. There's another card I wanted to mention, Light of Redemption. Oops, Redemption. You pay 800 life points to target one of your banished light monsters, you just add it back to your hand. So whatever you want to go for, you can add it straight back into your hand if they get banished. So this could be a card that you guys can think about using. In addition to that, if Honest happens to get banished, you can maybe utilize that. I think that would be interesting. Honest is just a very, very strong card in this deck. Yeah, that's it for the deck profile, and let me know, guys, what you think of it. Is it a little bit too strong? Are you guys excited to play this? I think, again, it just needs more support for me to think it's super viable. But again, without the Daedalus, the deck would really be nothing. But hopefully we'll get some more support cards for the archetype. But anyways, I think what we need, though, is like a few set of level 4 ones. Because, again, as of right now, it relies heavily off of this, other than this guy to summon. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'm signing out.